This call is from a person currently in a prison in England. All calls are logged and recorded and may be listened to by a member of prison staff. If you do not wish to accept this call, please hang up now.
Day 16 with a question mark. At this point, I'd lost track of what day I was on, how long I'd been in prison. So from now on, I don't say what day it is at the start. I just use the dates. So this date was the 8th of the 12th, 2024. That is 12/8/2024 if you're American. So this is HMP Thameside IDTS Wing. I think I've missed a day or two's diary from having a cold. I was mostly in my cell, wrapped up with tissues the last couple of days, and with the snotty nose and the constant breeze from the outside from my pad's broken window. I fixed it a couple of hours ago with tape and card covered in the draft, thanks to another prisoner who loaned me the tape after hearing about my sickness. So yeah, this is actually Rastaman. There's no way that they can know who he is, and I'm not in the same prison or anything, so now I can say Rastaman had actually stolen sellotape from the prison office one day, and hearing about my sickness and my problem with the window, they had the same problem. That's why they had sellotape, so they loaned me their sellotape so that I could actually really stick paper to the windows, cardboard from cereal boxes it was, and then it stopped the draft coming in. But yeah, I was really sick the last couple of days, really snotty nose, sneezing, and it's nothing worse than being sick in prison because you don't have peace, and also you have to get up for like your dinner and your tea, so you got to get up at certain times out of bed and then stand around in the queue for like 10, 15, 20 minutes, like proper sick. When you just want to lie down. But fortunately I had one thing going for me, and that was this breeze from this storm that had been going on around the 8th and the 12th, was stuck outside my pad. My energy is returning and I'm feeling exposure to the cold less. Yeah, any time I'd just be out of my bedsheet and I just feel cold air, I'd just have a sneezing fit. I received some mail, including an arty card signed by dozens of people from a collection of artists and writers. So I really want to thank Finn, Vicky, Marie, Rachel, Mortiz, Nestle, Cara, Hillary, Audra, and I'm sorry for those that have missed out or mispronounced there. Honestly, I've struggled to read your signatures. From Earth Pathways, thank you again. Some people send me mail and they send the writing in, and the writing is so fancy that it's too fancy for me to actually understand, to be honest. So again, thank you so much if that was you. I really appreciate that, and actually the art that you sent in, which was this card, was on one of my desks in my prison cell the whole entire time on display. So really thank you and appreciate that. I would welcome it again any time. I'll continue to shout out mail that isn't from family or close friends for legal reasons. I did manage to get on CMS system graciously so that I could order canteen for tomorrow. Among vitamins, I have Vimto, lemon squash, black grape, KA, Space Raiders, chocolate, crackers, biscuits, Oral-B, and other various extra calories to help gain weight. You can't buy bread for some bizarre reason, or I'd have got some, nor can you buy packs of noodles because I don't have a kettle, even if I did have noodles to prepare. So I know why now you can't buy bread in prison. The reason is because people use it to make hooch. So they use the bread for the yeast to make hooch. That's why the same reason why you can't buy sugar from CMS, although you can buy many other, as you heard, you can buy many other ordinary stuff. So, in any case, I'm grateful for the top-up this week on my canteen funds, with me able to buy phone credit too. Not that I have a phone either, but I can use Ahmed's in short bursts every evening. Weekends are my favourite because, as it turns out, and I was devastated when I found this out, there's no Star Trek on telly on the weekend. It's literally on every single weekday, but not the weekend. Also, it was good to have a telly, but it was really frustrating because adverts on the TV are literally as cringe as ever. Both the acting and how people are told to act. Corporations' ideas of what normal people are. And what we found funny and hilarious, oh my gosh. Yeah, some adverts I'd have to close my eyes or change the channel because it just went through me that much. It was pitiful. And to this day, adverts still piss me off. Just like actually piss me off. I do have the Holy Quran now, given to me by an imam a couple of days ago. So when I'm not too snotty, or maybe tonight, I'll study it. I also have a Salah prayer guide, which is not short, but it's really informative and instructed on the proper way to pray. Of course, I can't speak or read Arabic, so the instructions are in both Arabic and English. My pen is running out of ink, by the way. This is getting stressful, actually. I'd watched the ink go down on my pen while I was writing these. I may only have a few pages left of ink. 50 pages of ink really doesn't go far. I would get given my other pen, which I think I got this from the education induction not too long before. But I regret giving my other pen to the prisoner next door on my left. I only gave it to them because I thought I'd picked another one up from the library a few days ago. But I didn't. And also what's more is I kept the one with the ink that's depleted and not a fresh pen. So I was also gutted. There's been a few kickoffs on the wing. This is fights on the wing, but nothing serious. Just ego and childish behaviour, getting the best of people. For dinner today, I had the BBBD. That's barely baked, barely defrosted baguette with a cup of diced chicken mayo, a shot of cordial, a small plain flapjack, and a soup that I can't prepare. Oh man, what happened to them shots of cordial? I think I left them in the other prison. That's so shit, because I don't have any juice now, and actually they would have been alright. Fuck. That's spoilers. I've had to get paracetamol a few times for headaches, just because of my cold. Over the last few days, the original Star Wars trilogy was on telly. I think I'm in granddad when Star Wars is on the telly, who is an avid fan and a bit of a cosplayer. They absolutely love it. My favourite trilogy of Star Trek is the first three films, as in episode 1, 2, and 3. I forget what they call them. I'm sure that my granddad had never seen the interview with George Lucas talking about his inspiration for Star Wars. In the interview, he, seemingly to the shock of the interviewer, discloses he was inspired directly, unequivocally, by the imperialist Vietnam War against communism. The empire was and is based off the United States of America. The rebels were, in Star Wars, based off the Viet Cong, the communists, which was their scary, racist propaganda name, the Viet Cong. Their actual name, I can't remember, but probably included Liberation Army. That's liberation from colonialism, French colonialism, US colonialism. Empire. When the French got beat back, the Fourth Reich, aka the US, hated communists so much that they threw millions of their own citizens through forced conscription. I mean, when I say millions of their own citizens, that's everybody except the rich people. They threw them all into a brutal extermination campaign in Vietnam, committing crimes against humanity, against the brave Vietnamese people. Lucas, at the height of the Vietnam War, against all of the US propaganda, literally made Star Wars as an awful protest against US empire. I know my granddad is subject to British Empire propaganda. I'm proud that I don't just support rebels in science fiction, but I understand historical context and rebels in non-fiction. Would Lucas have been able to share their sentiments on why they made Star Wars? Would Lucas have been able to share their sentiments without Empire, first rebels being placed in a faraway galaxy a long, long time ago? No, if Lucas had made the Empire and the rebel story a lot closer to home, he probably would have been arrested for treason at the time. For tea, I had roast potatoes, roast chicken, diced carrots and gravy with a bun and a scoop of ice cream. The chicken dinner was fit and a staple on Sundays. It was a roast dinner. We get a big pack of biscuits in our cell after tea. I got custard creams. I started the Quran, which started with the bio of the Prophet Muhammad. May peace and blessings be upon him.
Thank you for tuning in to Diary of a Political Prisoner. What was a short list for you was a period of time in prison for me. So please make sure that you subscribe on whatever podcast player you're listening on to be notified of future episodes. Each episode was recorded in a prison cell as I'm held on remand for allegedly being involved in a Palestine action to disrupt and destroy weapons in a genocidal Israeli arms factory under Section 5 of the Terrorism Act. My diary is a podcast only to give you something in the hope that you can give help and support to my mum and son, which I can't do by any other means from prison. In supporting them, for £5 a month, you can get a week's worth of episodes in advance every Monday. For £10 a month, you'll get the week's worth of episodes. Plus, I'll respond to any question you have in a monthly question and answer episode on my Patreon at patreon.com/politicalprisonerpod. For £25 a month, our humanitarian aid tier, you get all of the above while knowing my little boy is supported and happy. One-time donations can be made by emailing or messaging my producer on social media. Media/collaboration inquiries are on the same line. the senders and inbox. If you can't support me family in my absence, please follow the podcast on Instagram if you're going to be listening. Please follow on Twitter, all of our socials. Our handle is Diary Paul Prisoner. Please share them and this podcast with your friends. It's free to do and it helps this project grow. You can also send me a prisoner email or letters, drawings, anything like that. Links to everything mentioned can be found in the podcast description below. Thank you, love and solidarity.